The picture you are seeing is coming to you from Splash Mountain at Critter Country in Disneyland, where we're about to witness a momentous occasion in this place where so many historic moments have been celebrated. We are just minutes away from a feat some have compared with Alan Shepard's first ride into space or Neil Armstrong's walk on the moon. We're about to see daredevil consultant and world-renowned ride tester Ernest P. Worrell take the maiden voyage on Disneyland's newest attraction, Splash Mountain.
A few minutes later.
At this moment, we ask that squeamish or sensitive adults turn their eyes from the screen.
Cameron, what's happening? He still hasn't come by here.
Well, I don't know, Skip. It's hard to tell. There doesn't seem to be any sign of recovery.
Oh, no. Well, I hope we haven't witnessed the demise of America's first splastronaut.
Wait a minute, Skip. I think I see something coming. Wait a minute. I think I see something, Skip. That's the log. Yes, it's him. It's him. I see him, Skip. He made it. He made it.
Hello and welcome to Theme Park History, the channel for everything to do with theme parks. Old and new, big and small. In today's episode, we go searching for our laughing place as we explore Splash Mountain, a log flume dark ride that opened at Disneyland on July 17, 1989, Tokyo Disneyland on October 1st, 1992, and Magic Kingdom on October 2nd, 1992. This attraction was suggested by all these critters, so thank you to everyone for the comments. As always, if there's an attraction you would like us to cover in a future video, leave a comment down below. You never know, your suggestion might be next month's video. Inspired by the 1946 Disney film Song of the South, Splash Mountain is one of the most popular attractions at each of the parks. Touted by Disney as the world's steepest, highest, scariest, wildest adventure when it opened, the attraction features over 100 audio animatronics, 950,000 gallons of water, 3 dips, and a 5-story 40 miles per hour drop. While the attraction might be terrifying to some and entertaining to others, there's no doubt Splash Mountain is one of the most thrilling, intense, and possibly wettest experiences guests can have while visiting the parks. Gather round, boys and girls. It's time to tell you the tale of how Splash Mountain came to be. This tale happened once upon a time. Not your time, nor yet my time, but one time. Actually, it was the summer of 1983. There was a theme park in the Golden State known as the happiest place on earth called Disneyland. It was full of all different types of attractions for everyone, and the park even had ghosts, pirates, and birds. However, there was one part of the park that nobody wanted to visit: Bear Country. Bear Country opened in March of 1972, with the area having a rustic western theme to it. The major draw of Bear Country was the Country Bear Jamboree, which had 17 bears, a raccoon, a bison, a moose, and a stag deer all singing and dancing to different tunes. It was something to behold. Although guests enjoyed the new area and show when it first opened, Bear Country wouldn't change much over the next 15 years. With the exception of fewer guests visiting this dead-end section of the park as the popularity of those singing dancing bears dwindled. One day in the summer of 1983, a Disney Imagineer by the name of Tony Baxter was stuck sitting in rush hour traffic on his way to work. Instead of honking his horn and weaving through traffic, Tony came up with an idea he was sure was going to bring guests back to Bear Country. Okay kids, that's it for theme park story time. Time to put away the book and let's get serious. While stuck in traffic in 1983, Imagineer Tony Baxter came up with an idea to help draw guests to the often empty area of Bear Country. At the time, Dick Nunis, who was the chairman of Walt Disney Attractions, wanted Imagineers to create a water-based attraction to help guests stay cool during the hot summer months. Nunis would pitch the idea of a log flume ride for the park, which was met with negative reception from Imagineers, as they felt the ride wasn't entertaining enough for Disneyland, and if they were going to create their own version, it had to be unique, standing out from similar rides. Baxter's idea would be to take the basic concept of the ride and flesh it out with theming and story that would make the Disney attraction much different from the others. For the story of the attraction, Baxter wanted to use characters from the Disney movie movie Song of the South, due in part to Brer Fox, Brer Bear, and Brer Rabbit being in the park since opening day as popular walk-around characters that guests were familiar with. While the movie did win an Academy Award in 1947 for Best Original Song, the attraction wouldn't include any of the controversial issues from the movie, and instead would just focus on the one story featuring those three characters. Another reason Baxter chose Song of the South was to incorporate the audio animatronics from another attraction at the park, America Sings. America Sings, which opened on June 29, 1974, featured a cast of audio animatronic animals that entertained audiences by singing songs from various periods in America's musical history. By 1983, the attraction wasn't very popular anymore, and Disney was in the planning stages of closing it, with the audio animatronic characters to be stripped for parts. Knowing America Sings would eventually close for a new attraction, Baxter came up with the idea to use Song of the South in order to give most of the animatronics a new home within Splash Mountain. After finally getting out of traffic, Baxter, along with fellow Imagineers Bruce Gordon and John Stone, would spend the next 3 days preparing 30 storyboards, outlining the entire project and developing a 1/20th scale model of the attraction. Originally known as Zip-a-Dee River Run, the attraction would be a log flume ride which would incorporate scenes from the animated segments of Song of the South for its story. Baxter and his team would pitch the project in 1984 to the new CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Michael Eisner, as part of his plan to help rejuvenate the aging Disneyland. Eisner wanted new attractions that would be modern, thrilling, and engaging, which would draw teenagers and thrill seekers to the park. Eisner not only saw Zip-a-Dee River Run as meeting his criteria, but also liked the idea that value could be added with little additional cost to the attraction by including the audio animatronics from America Sings that were scheduled to be destroyed. Eisner loved the concept for the attraction with one exception: the name. Eisner felt Zip-a-Dee River Run wouldn't appeal to the teenage audience and instead insisted on the attraction be called Splash Mountain in order to help promote the successful Disney romantic comedy film Splash that had just been released. Eisner also suggested that a mermaid be included somewhere in the attraction, but this idea would be shot down by Imagineers as they felt it would not fit in with the story of the Song of the South. Besides the movie tie-in, another reason Eisner suggested Splash Mountain was it would fit in with the other mountain-themed attractions in the park. Splash Mountain would be officially greenlit in 1984. But due to other major projects being worked on at the time, construction wouldn't start for another 3 years until April 1987. Splash Mountain would be the first attraction based on an animated film built outside of Fantasyland. For the show building, concrete was used so the building could stand up to the dampness created by the water and also be built in far less time than a normal steel structure. Even though the mountain stands at 76 feet tall, the foundation for the building was put below ground level so the final structure would not overlook Sleeping Beauty Castle or the Matterhorn, but still be tall enough to stand out in bear country. The final drop of the attraction is 52.5 feet long on a 47-degree incline in which guests descend at a speed of 40 miles per hour. When testing the final drop, Imagineers were getting soaked instead of being lightly sprayed due in part to how heavy the log vehicles were. To fix the problem, the original 45 log vehicles were replaced by logs that were 500 pounds lighter and their seating capacity was reduced from 8 to 7. The attraction features 103 audio animatronics, many of which were characters from America Sings, though all of the main characters were specifically designed for Splash Mountain. Imagineer Dave Phaeton would be brought in to program the characters and fix the story and staging problems, eventually removing 10 of the figures to help the flow of the story and moving others to different locations. Because of the addition of Splash Mountain and all its new audio animatronic animals, the area was renamed from Bear Country to Critter Country. Splash Mountain would officially open on July 17, 1989, Disneyland's 34th birthday, with the price tag of $75 million. Splash Mountain was one of the most expensive attractions Disney had built up to that time.
Splash Mountain. It may look peaceful and fun, but the only way out is a long way down. Splash Mountain at Disneyland.
Located in the Critter Country section of the park, guests entered the attraction by passing by a viewing area where the finale drop can be seen. After making their way through the queue, guests reach the loading area where they board their 6-passenger log, which consists of 5 single-file seats, with the last one being larger to allow for both an adult and small child. Once everyone has boarded the log, it ascends 2 lifts before floating through a river where guests pass by the homes of the 3 main characters of the attraction: Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer Bear, as an instrumental version of How Do You Do plays in the background. After dropping down Slippin' Falls, the log enters inside the mountain and guests pass by the first musical number of the attraction, How Do You Do, which is performed by critters, including geese, frogs, and possums. Seen outside his briar patch, Brer Rabbit tells Brer Turtle that he's leaving home to search for his laughing place. Brer Bear begins to follow Brer Rabbit, but ends up getting stuck in a tree and attacked by bees. The log goes through the second drop into Rainbow Caverns, where critters sing the second musical number, Everybody's Got a Laughin' Place. Brer Rabbit gets trapped in the beehive and is captured by Brer Fox, who takes him back to his lair. The tone of the attraction begins to turn dark and ominous as 2 mother characters, a possum and a rabbit, sing the third musical number, Burrow's Lament, to their children. The log starts to ascend the final lift hill, in which guests pass underneath 2 vultures that taunt them of the foreboding danger they are about to encounter. On the climb up, guests see Brer Rabbit tied up in Brer Fox's lair alongside the hill, who is about to be eaten by him. At the last moment, Brer Rabbit is able to trick Brer Fox by pleading with him to do anything to him, except to throw him down into the briar patch where he's been born and raised. Not realizing he's been tricked, Brer Fox does just that, with guests plummeting 52.5 feet down into the briar patch alongside Brer Rabbit. On the drop down Splash Mountain, the on-ride photo is taken. After surviving the drop, the log re-enters the mountain and guests enter Doo-Dah Landing, where critters on a massive showboat sing the 4th and final musical number of the attraction, Zippity-Doo-Dah. Guests pass by Brer Fox and Brer Bear fending off a hungry Brer Gator and find Brer Rabbit happily back at home. Guests return to the loading area, exit the log, and enter a dark room where they can preview and purchase their on-ride photo before exiting the attraction. Also nearby is the Briar Patch gift shop, where merchandise from the attraction is sold. The 9-minute, 18-second attraction was an instant mega hit with guests of all ages, as the attraction's story, soundtrack, theming, atmosphere, audio animatronics, and finale were highly praised. The attraction was unlike anything seen before at Disneyland and led to an overall increase in attendance at the park shortly after opening. To many, Splash Mountain wasn't just another new attraction at the park, but a full-blown Disney adventure from beginning to end.
Florida's Walt Disney World. There's more new to do in all 3 theme parks this summer. The Magic Kingdom, screaming down the world's steepest flume ride, Splash Mountain. Epcot 94. See and touch all the newest video games, electronics, cars, and computers before anyone else at Innovations. The Disney MGM Studios, now twice as big. Let the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror drop you 13 frightening floors. Don't miss any of it. Call 407-WDisney now.
After the successful launch of Splash Mountain at Disneyland, it was a no-brainer for Michael Eisner to think about developing the attraction for other Disney parks, specifically Magic Kingdom and Tokyo Disneyland. Shortly after the attraction opened in California, it was announced by Disney that Splash Mountain would be coming to Florida and Japan shortly after. While there were plans for the attraction to also come to Disneyland Paris, it was eventually scrapped due to budget concerns and the extreme cold weather in Europe during the winter season. While all 3 attractions would share the same ride concept and nearly identical layout, the Magic Kingdom and Tokyo Disneyland versions wouldn't just be carbon copies, as each would be different in its own way. The most notable difference is the log vehicles themselves. While California only has 6 single-seater logs, the Florida and Japan versions would have side-by-side seating, allowing up to 8 guests per log. In order to accommodate the change, the flume had to be slightly widened to allow the wider log to travel travel through. Another difference between all three attractions is the track length, ride duration, and drops. For Disneyland, the attraction's track length is 2,640 feet long, 9 minutes and 18 seconds, and has 3 drops. For Magic Kingdom, the track is 2,600 feet long, 11 minutes and 45 seconds, and has 5 drops. For Tokyo Disneyland, the track is 2,800 feet long, 10 minutes, and has 4 drops. Another difference is the location of where the attraction is located. For Tokyo Disneyland, an entirely new critter country was created for the park. Because Magic Kingdom doesn't have a critter country, the attraction was instead placed in Frontierland. Built across from Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, construction of Splash Mountain required the demolition of the existing railroad station and temporarily turning the railroad into a shuttle between Main Street, USA and Mickey's Starland. Because of where it's located in the park, significant exterior color changes were made to the mountain to better blend in with the Frontierland color scheme. The number of audio animatronics for each attraction varies as well, as the Disneyland version has 103, while Magic Kingdom and Tokyo Disneyland only have 68. There are also variations in the attraction's story and scenes between the 3 versions as well. In the Magic Kingdom and Tokyo Disneyland version, Brer Frog acts as a narrator for the introduction of the ride, and some of the attraction's show scenes have been slightly altered to make a more coherent storyline. The music for the Magic Kingdom version is different than Disneyland and Tokyo Disneyland as well. While the Disneyland and Tokyo Disneyland soundtrack is a mix of big band and orchestra stylings, the Magic Kingdom soundtrack instead has a country bluegrass style to it, to better fit in with the Frontierland setting. Construction on both the Magic Kingdom and Tokyo Disneyland versions of Splash Mountain would start in early 1991. Splash Mountain would officially open at Tokyo Disneyland on October 1st, 1992, with the Magic Kingdom's version officially opening one day later on October 2nd, 1992. Just like at Disneyland, the attraction was well received with guests at each of the parks, setting the bar high for water rides at theme parks and establishing itself as one of the best Disney attractions of all time. For almost 30 years, Splash Mountain has been one of the top attractions at Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, and Tokyo Disneyland, due in part to its story, pacing, catchy soundtrack, gorgeous sets, audio animatronics, and thrilling finale. Splash Mountain is a must-ride for anyone visiting the parks, as it's an achievement in Disney Imagineering that will leave you having a zippity-doo-dah day. So that is the theme park history of Splash Mountain. As always, thank you for watching the video and supporting the channel. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if there's any attraction you would like us to cover in a future video, leave a comment down below. Once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, everybody's got a laughing place. Trouble is, most folks won't take the time to go look for it.
We're here, we're ready to ride Splash Mountain.
But, no.
No, I was told that we could be the first to ride Splash Mountain, and we're ready to go.
Well, it's not open yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, you guys. You know, I don't know what happened.
Well, you know it is a thrill when you go downhill, 'cause you're riding on the mountain of your own free will, and you're zipping in a flash on a daring dash down a waterfall so rapid that you go split splash.
Splash Mountain,
Zippity-doo-dah,
Splash Mountain,
zippity-yay. My oh my,
Zip, zip.
wonderful day,
Zip,
Splish Splash,
plenty of sunshine
zip.
Splish Splash,
in my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay.
Hold on tight. It's going to be a big drop.
Zip.